Hello everyone, this is Dr. Vara Lakshmi and I am going to be discussing you the entire module 1 related to this managerial economics as well as this financial analysis. This managerial economics and the financial analysis, we often call it as the MEFA in most of the universities, and some of the colleges in this universities are also calling it as the business analysis and managerial financial accountancy, that is BEFA they will call it as. So here, the importance of this managerial economics is there for the every branch, irrespective of the their branch, whether it is a civil, mechanical, ECE, EEE, whatever the branch it is. Everyone is having this business economics and the financial analysis, because after the completion of their particular BTech or even the medicine, also most of the universities are following the same curriculum. Because either they have to become an employee, or some of you maybe become an employer. For both of them, they have to be managed their financial aspects, they have to be managed their products, and everything is depends on this particular economy, and all the entire world itself is moving around this economy. So that's why at least every human being, in my opinion, should know the basics of the economics. Because even if we don't work, you assume that I don't want to work at all. Even if you don't want to work, if you have the funds which is given by your elders and this others, you should be in a positions to manage those things also. Because every human being wants the products. I know undoubtedly every human being wants the products, and these products will be comes from these products comes from the resources only, and these resources always are limited. From the day onwards, your day will be starts with the products only. So we have to start the brushing means toothpaste, toothbrush, water. After that one, tiffin, food, whatever the items we are all eating, and whatever the clothes we are wearing, what are the soaps, everything what we are using until this night sleeping, and even at the time of sleeping, or also if it is very comfortable, we need all the products. Even my teaching is also one of the products, which means the human beings' needs, wants, and the desires are going to be satisfying with the help of the products. If I ask you what the people required means, the common question from most of you will be get as they require the money, they require the some of you maybe says that I require happiness. So whatever the happiness it is, we can feel that happiness by having the products only. Whatever the money if you want to gain, that can be either by exchanging the products only, which means without the money, if somebody is going to be give the products freely whatever you want, then you don't want the money too. So which means don't ask for the money. So you should be in a positions to, without giving your products, the other products you can't get that one. So that's why our products are matter for every person. This products is in the form of the two. One is in the form of the good, another one is in the form of the services. The goods means which we can touch and we can use, but the services means which we can feel. Like this teaching, I'm going to be explaining that you are going to be experiencing. Okay, this is the aspects I'm understand and all. So that is called as the services, like information technologies, hospitality, hotelity, tourism, entertainments, cricket matches, and everything whatever we are seeing, all are called as the products. So the goods and the services commonly called as the products. All these products are used for the every person. This, if a human being has to run his life successfully in this particular on the earth, he requires the products undoubtedly. These products are all not coming from the sky, or they are not coming from the another planet. all the products whatever using by the human beings on the earth are making by them, and also they are all going to be exchanging by themselves, which means the products are going to be exchanging from one person to another person, and economic, this process itself is called as the economy. So the economical benefit is creating between one person to another person. Then, what is an economy? I have not yet discussed, but the things which we have told you, if you keep in your mind, all these products, whatever we are using nowadays, all are the scarce, all are facing the scarcity. Now, you have the one question in your mind, what's the meaning of the scarcity? The scarcity means the reduction in the resources. For example, earlier when 10 to 20 years back, most of the people were not paid the money for the drinking water too. Now, not very minute people are paying the money, not paying the money for the drinking water, and most of them are purchasing the water and they are all having. So which means water was a free good once upon a time. Even when I was studying, my faculty members were used to say that free goods means food, free goods means water and the air. Now the air also has become costly. At the time of corona, we were search for these oxygen cylinders. So even for the most of these members, maybe in the next generation also, they may have to pay for the oxygen if the oxygen levels are all reduces. So they have to purchase some cylinders. Who knows? By having a cylinder on my backside, I maybe give another video to all of you after 5 to 10 years. So that means nothing is free in this world. Everything is somebody has to pay and somebody has to take. So that's why there is all these resources, whatever we are all saying to make that particular product are becoming scarcity, or they are all becoming, or they are all reducing, because the population is increasing, or the people are increasing, or their consumption levels are increasing, their desires, wants are all increasing. And previously, undoubtedly, your grandparents, if you ask them, they'll say that they used to have only one product for the kitchen cleanings and all, kitchen cleanings, washing of the clothes and all, Ita soap. Now, for the washing of the dishes are only 10 to 20 variety of products as came. Earlier 2 dishes, 1 product, after dishes, 1 product, dishwasher and cleaning the clothes and everything has become a product nowadays. So because there it is showing that our needs are increasing, our desires are increasing, our wants are all going to be increasing, but the same land, same labor, or even somehow the population, anyhow it is increasing. But entrepreneurship, just that much level of the entrepreneurs are all not able to generate. That's why, so this lack of products which is going to be satisfying the needs, wants, desires of the people, then that is called as the scarcity. Then a straight questions to you, in your life you might haven't you experienced that I want a product like this, but no such a product is there? Or if you went to anywhere, if you have faced any problem, you maybe think that I want a service like this. Nobody is providing these services. These many services are all there outside and are all. Nobody have these services and are all. The same questions has come to the mind of the entrepreneurs. That's why they are come out with these sophisticated products. Somebody was lazy or not able to cook. They were thought, is there, if somebody is there to give me the food which I have just telephoned, how beautiful it was. Somebody might be thought before the coming of Zomato. So that's why any other person's desires or their problems may be solved with the entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs are the key are the major persons to communicate these products to the need people. That why they are all going to be communicating means just to exchange his goods and services. Here, there is no economy at all. But assume that water resources, whatever the products we are all consuming, like an Akshaya Patra, if all the products are all automatically generating, then there is no concept of economy. Even the motorbikes which you are all seeing, even the cars which you are seeing, economy speed they are all mentioning, because the resources, the main resources for that speed is the petrol. The petrol is going to be, the petroleum resources are going to be reducing by its consumption. Not only in your tank, in this entire wells, from the main resources only, that petroleum consumption is going to be, petroleum resources are going to be reducing. That's why they are all going for an alternative choices, like electricity vehicles and they're all. So which means they're going for the alternatives. So there is one thing we have to come to the conclusions that there is the scarcity. Without, there is no scarcity at all. We need not to speak about this economy. I need not to tell you about this business economics and or the managerial economics, whatever it is. I should not say about this economics. But there is the scarcity. There requires the products. That's why every producer has to think about the economics, that is how to reduce the wastages, how to maximum utilize these resources so that it can communicate more products to the more number of the people. It can reach us to the more, it can satisfy the maximum number of needs, wants and the desires of the people. So that's why the Chanakya has coined a term called as economical. I'm telling you, there is somebody maybe says that you're thinking very narrowly, you are thinking very greedily, but it is not a correct thing. If that greediness means, if they have the products, if they are not using the products, then it is called as a greedy. If they have the product, they are using in an effective way without any wastages for the multiple aspects, then it is called as the economics. So which means economical thinking is sustainable for your next generations, not the greedy. So a beautiful thing I would like to share with you, that in most of the foreign countries like Japan, Germany and all, if you go to any restaurant and you give an order for a food, and if some of the food, even small quantities like 1 spoon to 2 spoons of the rice, if you are left over, then immediately the manager will comes to that particular customer and he will says that though the money is with you, but the resources are not yours. I'm repeating my words. Though the money is of you, but not your resources, which means you can understand that one, resources are all belongs to everyone. The God has created, or the Almighty has created these resources for everyone, not to a single person. We may have the money, but we don't have the right to spoil the resources. That is the importance of the economy. That's every human being should know about this economy. That's why this economic subjects has introduced for every person in this, irrespective of the branches, irrespective of the domains which they are all studying. This is introduced for every persons. That's the reason behind the introduction of this managerial economics to the people. Okay, so here I am using the term economy only, but most of you wants to either become an employee or an employer, means you have to manage the things. Your office works you have to manage, or if you are the boss, you have to manage your employees and you have to manage all the things into your mind. So which means you have to take the better decisions based regarding the resources, regarding the employees, regarding the suppliers, regarding the funds, regarding the technology adaptation, etc. You should know the economy. So for example, if you are approaching a supplier to purchase the raw material, you'll think it in an economical way. If I go for the first purchaser, if first supplier, what is the discount is he giving? If I go for the second person, What is the discount is he giving? And if I go for this next another way of paying the more cash at the time of the ordering, how much of beneficiary it is to me. And afterwards, if it has to brings to your particular manufacturing place, then how much of cost it is there for the logistics, how much they are paying, and which is the best things to get that particular material. Everywhere will think that one. As an employee also, how many hours I'm working here, how much are they paying, is it is worthful for us or not, what kind of demandable skills we have. If we have that demandable skills, where we have to sell our skills, where is the right place to sell our right skills, and what is the right time to changes from one place to another place, what is the right product or the right skills you have to acquire to get promotions at your workplace. All these things you should know. So that's why either you become an employee or an employer, or if you are just a dumb, you don't want to do anything also, you have to think, you have to do you have to think about this economics. But if you want to become a nun, or if you want to become a sage, or if you don't want to know, I want to go to the Himalayas, I want to do the tapas and all, if you say, then don't no require of thinking, or don't think about this economics. Then you can go to the jungles, and there you can happily lead your life. But we are not in the jungle. We are all here in the society, which is going to be, we want a sustainable society which gives us a peaceful and happy, comfortable life to every person. To that's why we should have the knowledge on this particular economy. Okay, so which means I have told you what is an economics means: maximum utilization of the resources with less cost, less wastage, to get the more profits, and so that it can lead to the comfortable products which are sufficient for the maximum number of needs, wants and desires. Then it is called as the economy. Whatever the things that I have told you right now, all are about the economy. If these concepts are applying for an organization to take the better decisions that I have told you. So can I recruit this particular person or not? Can I enter into this particular organization or not? Like this. So you have to manage a job, or you have to manage an enterprise. You have to take certain decisions. That decisions, if you are thinking in an economically, then it is called as a managerial economics. So which means, so if we have seen separately what is a management means, getting things done by the others in time with the planning, organizing, coordinating, communicating and summarizing and analyzing and interpretation, then it is called as a management. And maximum utilization of the resources, aspects and all the production elements, then it is called as the economy. So, maximum utilization concept applicability for the management while taking the better decisions is called as the managerial economics. Now, so the need for the economics is the mantra is scarcity. So, why the economics means? Because the resources are all scarce. The resources are in scarcity. So, that is the answer we can give then. So the scarcity and efficiency are the twin themes of the economy. So because world without a scarcity, if then infinite quantities of the every good could be produced, or if human beings' desires were fully satisfied, so where people would not worry about, they could have everything what they wanted. Obviously, business would not need to fret over the cost of the labor or health care. They need not to worry about that one. And the government would need not to struggle over the taxes or spending on population. So let the people can have 10 to 20 children. Let them, because the resources are plenty. So if means the scarcity is only the mantra or the main scarcity is a problem identified. The one and only solutions to come up with the scarcity is the efficiency. So, efficiency is in the form of, if we have analyzed the efficiency mechanisms, then it is called as the economics. because your needs are all increasing, your wants are all increasing. So full economic situations has to be think about that one. So that's why the scarcity is an answer for the converting of this unlimited wants to the limited resources. So they will think about the three elements: what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. That's the three elements they will see. So if they produce that particular product, is it is uses by the maximum number of people or not? Is it useful for the maximum number of the people or not? Will it be sufficient for the maximum number of the people or not? Will it be sufficient for the maximum number of purposes or not? If we think, then automatically we'll get the maximum profits because we are thinking in an economical way. How to produce a product? See, what to produce a product is the first element. Then, how to produce it with minimum resources? How to produce it within the less time? How to produce it without having harmfulness or the future causes? And for whom we are all producing? Is it useful for only one community or one country or one state? Is it is useful for all the human beings? Is it is suitable for all the genders? And what kind of the benefits of this one? If we think in that way, then obviously we are all thinking in an economical way. So that's why once if we observe the nature of this managerial economics, it is an art and science. So, in my opinion, art means whatever the things are all there. If we are all beautificationally, we are all able to plan them, organize them. If we are all doing in a very clean or beautiful way in to execute or should be appear, then it is called as an art. It is a science means it is going to be involving with analyzing what should be more required and thinking about what has to discover more and what should be the best out of this one. If anything, if they want to do a new thing or new practices of that one, then it is called as the science. In my opinion, the managerial economics is the both art and science, because if they have to manage, they have to think in an artistical way. So how beautifully I have to manage this task without having any harm to the employees, without having any damages to the customers, without having any losses to the organization. By keeping in that view, if they have planned very beautifully, then it is called as the artistic nature, which means the managerial economics is an artistic in nature. And the science, if we have take, what are the new methodologies which I can implement for this production? What is the new way of satisfactory elements I can give to my employees? How can I change the productional elements as per the changing taste and preferences of the customers? Like this, if they are thinking, then it is called as they are thinking in a scientific way. So, which means the nature of this managerial economics is both art and science. And before going to discussing that second concept of microeconomics, I would like to tell you that one economy is going to be divided into two elements. One is microeconomics, another one is macroeconomics. A simple thing is, in our mobile phones, it is going to be, a SIM size is going to be reducing, which means it is a micro size, microscope, microphone means it's a smaller elements. If it is going to be taken into the consideration, then it is called as the microeconomics. And macro level is an example of exactly opposite of this microeconomics, which means the external elements or the entire elements were taken into the consideration, then it is called as the macroeconomics. Then no economist, no person in this world will say that these are only the microeconomics factors and these are only the macroeconomy factors, because situation to situation, these will be changes. For example, if it is an organization's economy, then The internal factors like its land, its labor, its employees, its customers, its planners, board of directors, investors. These are all the people who will becomes as the internal members. At the production level, what kind of machineries they are all using, and what kind of training they are giving to their employees, and what kind of working environment they are creating, what are the facilities they are all providing, and what kind of methodologies they are implementing for the production, packaging styles, etc. will becomes under the microeconomics. The strategies which are using by them, principles they are all using by them, all are will becomes under the microeconomics. If we take it as a macroeconomics, overall this particular company is comes under which industry? Is that industry is in a growth position or in a decline position? Who are the competitors for this one? And how the customers are having the perception about this one, like brand loyalty, brand image, loyal customers, etc. And how the others like other foreign country members are all their opinion on this one, how the government is going to be taking the decisions towards this particular type of companies, and what are the taxation rules it is implementing. All these are all called as the external. They will have an impact on this particular industry, on the other industry also. So that elements will be called as the macroeconomics. So which means managerial economics is can be divided into two types. One is the microeconomy factors, another one is the macroeconomy factors. These are all the things whatever that I've explained you in organization's point of view. If it comes to the country, that organization entire aspects will be become micro, and one other country's perspective, which I have told you, another country's perspective, then all this will be called as the macroeconomics. If it comes to this top 10 countries, then top 10 countries, all other economy aspects will become microeconomics, and other countries comparison with other countries and the entire country's position whole, if we are going to be taking care, then it is called as the macroeconomics. So that's why we can't say that microeconomy means these elements are only will be comes into the consideration. But we are all restricted to the managerial economics means as per the managerial economics, for the organizations, internal aspects will becomes under the microeconomics, and the other aspects will becomes under the macroeconomics. And in this too, the manager can more control over the microeconomics, because it is their employees, their products, their suppliers, their strategies, their planning, their mind, so their investors, so they can have a more control over them. That's why they can more control over the microeconomics. So managerial economics nature is very close towards the microeconomics and uses the resulting evidences of macroeconomics, which means as a sum, the customers are rejecting this product, then they will go for the changing of the internal aspects, packing styles, or the productional quality elements, or the pricing reductions elements. As an external size, if the competitors are all increasing, that is in the macroeconomics, competitors are all increasing, then they'll have the more control over the internal one, how best they can compete with their competitors, how best they can give more value to the customers. These things can be think about the manager. So which means in the nature of the managerial economics, it is not only the art and science, it works as a backdrop of microeconomics and uses as a macroeconomics concepts. It uses the macroeconomic concepts into the consideration. And also, the managerial economics is a multidisciplinary, which means by having one element onto the mind, they can't take the entire decisions. See, somebody maybe says that my boss doesn't work at all. What is the work is he's having? He doesn't do anything, and whatever that I am doing, and I'm only from morning to the evening I'm only working, and he will just take the decision. That stupid decisions he will take. These kind of words you might have listened from your parents or somebody in around you, those who are working. But I'm telling you, taking the decision is very difficult than working. That decision making position is there, the manager means he is taking the entire responsibility into onto his shoulders. And even if you take the example of your family only, so you might have seen your mother is working or not working, whatever it is, they are taking the decisions means they are very, very close towards this particular economics, because they are the decision makers. They will think more alternatives. Should I do this one or not? Should not do this one? Because if any risk occurs, an employee may not face much, but the manager is answerable. So the risk takers, hires the risk, hires the returns. The same way, the risk taker is the manager, and he must have the knowledge on all the aspects. If you are good at accountancy, then you will be master in that one only, you will become an employee. But and a manager should have the knowledge on accountancy, finance, statistics, mathematics, production, operations, marketing, current affairs, human resources, research and development, technology adaptations, technology changes, competitors, and outside what the government is doing, how the tax rates are all going, if the budget releases, and what its impact on the businesses, everything he has to take care. So which means he is not only restricted to one particular area, he is or the manager's role is expanded for the all other areas. That's why the managerial economics, or the person who is at managing this economical aspects, will take the help of multiple disciplinaries. For your reference, I have mentioned you very few here, but the manager should be a multitask manager, and he must have the knowledge on all the kind of knowledges. He must have the knowledge on accounting, finance, statistics, mathematics, production, operations, research, human resources, and the marketing. So that is the nature of this managerial economics, and it is a perspective or normative. Means it is perspective means always why the people are thinking or why the people are taking the decisions, means they are expecting the perspection, that is more returns in the future. So that's why economy will always aims at achieving the goals. Economy will always aims at getting maximum returns. So that's why managerial economics nature is perspective in nature. And that too, situation to situation, it is not like Jinda Tilishmat. If that problem occurs, then go and apply that particular balm and go and take this particular prescribed tablet and all. It is not saying. If for this situation, if this particular decision might be correct, for the another situation, that decision might be wrong. So that's why it is not a static statement. Managerial economics means it is a normative discipline, which means time to time it will be changes. It has to be changed, the corrective actions at the time of the situation only. And this managerial economics will always thinks in the management oriented, means it always thinks about the solving of the problems which are occurring to the business enterprises. And so that's way its scope is covers both the microeconomy elements as well as macroeconomy elements. So whereas the microeconomy elements will be comes with the theory of the demand, that is what is the demand, what kind of the products are having the more demand, how to produce them, what is the cost aspects of that one, how to fix a price to that particular product, where should I have to place it, and what is the profitability out of that particular products, which kind of advertisement should I have to approach, and after the sales, are they paid the taxations or not? Do they got the proper permissions from the government or not? And what are the future changes of the people's mindsets towards this particular production? All is one. If they are, and also financial aspects like the capital and the investment decisions, all these are all called as the microeconomics. They can take the decisions regarding these aspects. And the macroeconomically, even they have to think about the what is the world's economy, what is the state's economy, what is the country's economy, what is this particular district's economy, and these organizations in and around, who are the people are there, the customers, what is their economical position, how it is going to be, have its impact on this particular production. If the recession comes, is their product will go for the sale or not? If the recession is continuously is there, what happens to their production levels? And what is the societal changes and social security needs, political changes? Everything is a matter in this macroeconomy factors. So like this, as a managerial person, or the managerial economics should think about the both micro as well as macroeconomy factors, but they works closely with the microeconomics by using the knowledge at macroeconomics. This is the some of the elements which I have shared with you. What are the elements that comes under the scope of managerial economics? So, as per the nature and the scope of the managerial economics, their first duty is to identify the demand. Now, we'll have the most awaiting term. What's the meaning of the demand? Now, demand means effective desire or want for a commodity which is backed up by the ability and willingness to pay for it. So simply, demand means a value which you have assigned to a product based on the price, based on the place of that product available, based on the time of that product availability, and based on the income levels of that person, ability, and based on the ability, this income is called as the ability to purchase, and the next thing is willingness. Assume that there are 100 products in the market and 100 people are in requirement. These are all the products, and 100 people are in need of that particular product. So, and price is 100 rupees. So, indirectly, I'm saying that need is a main cause for the production's value creation. First, need is the main cause for the economics. Now, the same need is going to be deciding a value to the product. Need of the product is an economy. Based on the need, value assigning to the product is called as the demand. See, here, product. If a product is there here, price of that 100 rupees price, 100 members are all thinking to purchase, but 10 members were dropped, or some other 10 members were came to this particular place available product to take that product for 100 rupees. Then at that place 10 more people are added, then obviously there is a chance of increasing the value of the product, that is price of the product will be increases. And till now only 110 members were able to purchase that product, but unfortunately another 20 members has gone to Himalayas, and they have prayed to Lord Shiva or someone. They have given the money which they have not worked, or somebody has did the theft, and or somebody has illegally has earned. 20 more people are added. Their ability is increased to purchase this particular product. Then again the value of the product will be increases. And one more thing is, you may be say that, why ma'am, shouldn't they go produce for the 100 products are all? Means assume that only 100 products are all there. Initially 100 people were there. At that time price was 100, and 10 more people are added for the need is created, but the same production and the Same production, if the same production is there, then automatically the same price will not be there. The value assigning to this quantity will be increases. The same quantity, if it is there, then for that quantity, the demand will be, or the value will be increases. Then at this particular time, if they want more of that one, like an oxygen cylinders and the beds vacation at the time of this COVID situations, 30 more people were added, then automatically again the value will be increases. Then assume that at this level the price of that commodity is 500 rupees. Then out of this 100 and out of this 150 people, 40 people's willingness is dropped. Why should I have to use this one with the 100 rupees product? Why should I have to pay 500 rupees and all? There is realization has came. So which means the willingness of the people is dropped towards the need of that particular product. Then automatically there is a chances of reducing the price of the product, which means a value of the product is deciding based on the price of that product, place of that product, time of that product selling, and income of the people who wants that product. And though they have the income, they might have the willingness to, they might have no willingness towards the purchasing of that product, or maybe strongly willing towards the purchasing of the product. So whether that maybe increases or the decreases, but the value of the products or the depends on these attributes, then it is called as the demand. Desire to take the product, ability to take the product, and willingness to spend for that particular product. That is price, place, time, income, and all these elements are all attributing towards the creation of the value. That value created is called as the demand, and that nth value, how much of value it is created, can be measured with the help of the quantity. So which means value created or not can be known by the number of quantity it is selling. If the more the number of the quantity it is selling, more the demand. If the less the quantity of the demand, less the quantity of the products are all selling, then the demand is less. So the demand's measurement is quantity. The demand means the value assigning to the product based on the need or the desired ability to pay and willingness to spend is called as the demand. So that's way the demand can be created in any of the kinds, that is complementary products demand and the component products demand, producer goods demand, consumer goods demand, durable goods demand or non-durable goods demand, and as well as that value can be given based on the individual demand and market demand. And the value again will be changes as per the derived demand and autonomous demand. This value may be for short run and that value might be for long run. So in a whole, we can say that the demand determinants are all the income levels or the entire country's income levels, expectation towards that particular product, income, government policies, population size, population composition, taste and preferences, weather conditions, prices of the related commodities, price of that one. Here, if you have observed why I have separated this particular determinant element, all are the determinant elements are only. But even if your income level increases, that income levels are going to be having its impact on the price of the product are only. If suppose if you are normally purchasing 100 rupees worth of the product or 100 rupees based on medium quality product you are all purchasing, then if your income increases, then we will go for the more worth of the product, more quality of the product than this normal 100 rupees worth. Which means again its impact is going to be having its impact, it is implementing with the help of the price only. And expectations, if you think that in expectation or that product prices are going to be increasing, then you will purchase now itself. Again the expectations are attributed towards the price. And if you think that your income or the country's income is going to be increasing and the government is going to be banning them, or then automatically based on the price you will take the decisions. Population size based on the prices only. So that's why out of all the determinant factors, price is the main factor, and all these determinant factors are all going to be reflecting in the name of the price only. So we can say that price is the main determinant factor, and these are also the determinant factors, but these are all called as the additional attributes towards the determining the demand of a product. And the price of the commodity will be a very good impact on the demand curve. For example, if we have taken this one, if the price P1, that is 10 rupees, if the people are able to purchase 20 products, means on x-axis we will take the demand, quantity demanded of a product. On y-axis we will take the price as the commodity or price as a determinant factor. Then if the price decreases to 5 rupees, from P1 to P2, if it is decreases, then there is a chance of purchasing more number of products, that is 30 products, because the people's ability will be increases. Because their ability will be increases. If assumes that the price is increases to P3, that is 15 rupees, then the ability to purchase this one will be reduces. So might be 10 products they may be purchasing this one. We will connect this plotted or the ends that one, then it is called as the demand curve. Then prices of the relative commodities. Relative commodities means those who are in relation with the another one. For example, car. The car models are all, the number of the brands are all increasing, then automatically the complementary products, its services will get more services, retail outlets will be there. If the car services is not there, then the people will hesitate towards the purchasing of that particular car models. See, nearby there is no service centers at all. So every time I should have to go this much of distance, I should not travel. So let us compromise with this particular car. So that is again, so this car and the car services will be called as the related commodities. If the car's demand increases, then automatically the service centers will have the more demand. If there is a more demand for the service centers, then automatically we can say that more demand for the cars. And weathers, seasons, it also will have the more, create more demand for the products. Taste and preferences of the people. Population and composition of the people, and population sizes, government policies, income levels of the households and expectations, national income levels, commodity common habits, advertisements and the sales. All these are all going to be having its impact on the demand. So that's where we can say that these are all called as the demand determinants. And I said that one, all this advertisement, national income, income levels, government policies, price, all these are all the determinants of the demand. But do they have the direct proportionate or indirect proportionate, which means the kind of relationship with the demand determinants to the demand is called as the law of the demand, which means if I said as per the demand determinants, price increases, demand will be decreases. As per the demand determinant concept, income increases, then the quantity demanded for the product will also be increases. If the advertisement increases, then the quantity demanded will be increases. If the substitutes increases, that products are substituting with another product, quantity demanded of this Y product substitutes are all increased, the next product's demand will be reduces. This is called as the law. Either it is, here it is an inverse proportionate, here these are all called as the direct proportionate. But whatever it is, the determinant factors are going to be having a certain relationship with the demand, then that is called as the law of the demand. So this law of the demand will state that certain determinant factors will have the direct proportionate relationship, directly will impact, and certain demand determinant factors will indirectly will have their impact on the demand. Some maybe have the positive, some maybe have the negative impact on the demand. That is called as the law of the demand. In some most of the textbooks that I have told you, price is the main factor. So they will say that if the demand for, if the price of the product is increases, then the quantity demanded will be reduces. The same plotted lines which I have showed you. So here, so if the price is decreases, then again the demand will be increases. If the price, so that is the one. If we have applied for the income levels, and if at income I1 level, assume that the people who are purchasing the Q1 quantity, if the income increases, then automatically the Q2 quantity will be increases. Then this is also called as the demand curve only. So which means here the price is an inverse proportionate as per the law of the demand. It is a downward slope, and income is a direct proportionate. That's why it is in an upward direction. So whatever the determinant it is having a certain relationship with the quantity, then that is called as the law of the demand. So, and here always the assumption of this law of the demand will says that if one determinant factor is going to be having its impact on the other one, all other remains constant. For example, all the determinant factors which I have told you, if price, law of the demand with the respect to the price, if I am saying, all the income, prices of the relative goods, prices of the complementary and composition goods, population, national income, all the government policies, taxations remains constant. That is the assumption of law of the demand. If the same thing, if I am going to be telling that the income, law of the demand with respect to the income means all the other attributes will be remains constant. Prices, all the government policies, complementary goods, substitutable goods, future expectations, climatic conditions should be constant. So which means the law of the demand will be holds good, only its assumptions are all holds good. If two factors are all changing, we can't see so which one has its impact. If one is pulling down and one other might be pushing up. So that's why to analyze this law of the demand, there is an assumptions are all there. If one determinant factor is going to be having its impact on the product, then all the other remaining determinant factors will remain constant. Then, exceptions to the law of the demand. Some might be already, those who have listened this video might have some doubts that, madam, at certain times, even though the price increases, for certain products, the price will be, instead of increasing, it is going to be, instead of decreasing, it is going to be increasing. Let us say the gold. The gold price is increasing, but the demand for that gold is also being increasing, which means the law of the demand is not holds good for certain products or for certain situations. They are all called as the exceptions to the law of the demand. Best thing is at the time of the war situations, at the time of the emergency situations, even at the time of the, if we feel that it has a very luxurious product or the high grade product, if we think that it is fashions are all changed, we want that particular product, and we have think that it is a low grade product, we should not use that product, and we should think we maybe thinks that that product is not going to be further manufacturing by the particular organization, and we maybe thinks that in future this product is going to be not available. In all the situations, we will think only one thing, whether we have to purchase it or not, irrespective of all the determinants. So that categorizations will becomes under the exceptions to the law of the demand. So that is, if a given goods means, if we think that it is a low income or the non-luxurious products, then definitely even if it price increases, we won't purchase more quantity. We will purchase the normal quantity only. Those goods are all called as the given goods. Veblen effects. It's a good which demand increases as the price increases. Best thing is the diamonds, all these products, even if the price increases, demand will be increases. If we think that future its prices are going to be increasing more than the availability, like onions, tomatoes, gold, etc., then the people will rush towards the purchasing of the product even though already the price is increased. And some people who doesn't know that one, they went to the market and they have purchased whatever they want. They doesn't want the changes in the prices. So emergency situations. In these emergency situations, even the price increases, people never thought about what's the price it is. So they'll just think that one, whether that product is available to them, and they'll rush towards the making some stock reservoir for the further consequences. So in these situations are also the demand, law of the demand does not holds good. At the same time, if the changes in the fashions, taste and the preferences were changed, then automatically the law of the demand does not be holds good. And the next thing is the conspicuous necessities, which means that consumer will attract towards that particular goods, or they want to show themselves as a rich by having those particular products. Then at that situations are also the number of the price, how much of the price they are all spending on that particular product will be a status symbol for them. So in these situations are also the demand forecasting will not possible. Next thing is bandwagon effect. If the person has purchased that product, if that person has said yes, it is okay, it is very good for me, then automatically the people will go towards that particular product. Let's take the example of the movie. If that movie might be liked by some person, and the same movie, same review he has given, and all the people are of his known, his friends, based on his status, the people have went for that particular movie, and most of them might not be satisfied or maybe satisfies that one. That in that situation is also we can say that the price or the elasticity of the demand does not holds good. That effect is called as the bandwagon effect. So as for this one, the law of the demand will always states that there is certain elements that are all going to be having its impact on the demand of the product, and that products are all having that effects are all having certain assumptions, and these are all the products have certain exceptions to this law of the demand. So next element of our segment is the elasticity of the demand. First, we came to know what is the managerial economics and what are the nature and characteristics of the managerial economics, scope of the managerial economics, as well as what is the meaning of the demand function, law of the demand, exceptions to the law of the demand. Now, in the law of the demand state that there is a relationship between the determinant factors to the demand, and the demand law of the demand also has stated that it is going to have the impact on the demand. The determinant factors like price, income, other factors are all going to be having its impact on the demand. Some might be the direct proportionate and some might be the indirect proportionate. Then how much, whether it is direct or the indirect, how much of impact is there of that particular demand, or the determinants are going to be having its impact on the demand, or measures in the help of the elasticity of the demand. For example, if we take this rubber band, in that rubber band, if we have applied the less pressure, then the elasticity of that or the shape changes of that particular rubber band will be more than the pressure which we are applying. But if the same time, if we spring which is made up of aluminium or the strong string, if you take, and you have to push, or if you have to apply more much more pressure on that one to have a slight changes in that shape of that particular spring, which means certain products will have a more impact on the quantity demanded with a slight changes in the determinant factor. Sometimes even if the determinants are changed a lot, that is price increased a lot, the demand effect will be very less. Income increases, also that demand increases will be very less. So which means that measurement, or what is an effect of that one, how much of impact is there, that determinants factors on the demand is going to be calculating with the help of this elasticity of the demand. So that elasticity of the demand will be taken on the basis of the formula percentage change in the demand economic factor divided by percentage change in the driving economic factor. For example, at a P1 price at 10 rupees, assume that the people were purchasing the quantity of 20. Then if it is increases to the P2 price, that is to the 20 rupees, and the quantity is reduced to 10 products, then the change in the price is 20 minus 10, that is 10 divided by 10, 100% change, 100% increasing in the price will lead to the 20 to 10, that is again 10 is the change, and from this one it is 100%, 50% reduction in the, because 10 is on 20, this is the base one, so 50% reduction in the quantity demanded of a product. Then we can say that a percentage change in the production, that is dependent economic factor, that is 100% change will lead to the 50% changes in the quantity demanded of a product. So we can say that half percentage. So half impact is there, that price changes on that particular product. That is called as the elasticity of the demand. This elasticity of the demand will be of 5 categories. Price, perfectly elasticity of the demand, perfectly inelasticity of the demand, unit elasticity of the demand, relatively elastic of the demand, relatively inelastic of the demand. Perfectly elastic, which means if the price is P1 to P2, a very minute it is reduced, but the quantity will be more change in this one. We can say, if we denote with a thick line of this one, change in the quantity demanded is, that is elasticity. Elasticity, it means the impact on where we are measuring quantity demanded. And what is this impact perfectly indicates the determinant factor. So here I have taken the example of the price, but you can take the income, you can take the advertisement, you can take the substitutable products, and you can take the complementary products too together here. So now if we have seen the price is perfectly impacting this quantity demanded. Sometimes a minute change in the price will lead to the maximum change in the elasticity of the demand. Then that will be, so there the elasticity has become infinite with a slight or negligible change in the determinant factor. That is called as the elasticity of demand, whereas elasticity coefficient quantity demanded is infinite. Then if there is a price is changing, drastically decreases from P1 to P2, but the people are purchasing Q1 to Q2, same quantity, more or less, 1 or 2 products only varies, then that too, that is negligible. Then that is called as a perfectly inelastic, which means that impact of that determinant factor on the demand is very less, or the minute, or the ignorable. Then at that time we can say that that kind of the elasticity of the demand is inelasticity of the demand, or the perfectly inelasticity of the demand. And if the change in the P1, that is, for example, if the P1 is reduced to P2, that is 10% if it is reduced, and if the price decreases, actually the quantity has to increase from Q1 to Q2, it has to increase. That to same 10% it is increased, then we can say that quantity demanded or the quantity coefficient is 1, because if it is 10% increased, the same level of 10%, the denominator values are also increasing, then that kind of the elasticity is called as the unit elasticity of the demand. Then relatively elastic, so when compared to this one, it is more than that one. That means if the Q1 price is increasing by 10%, then quantity demanded is reducing by 20%. It is not a much change, but when compared to this one, when compared to this impact, it is somehow it is increasing more. That is, we can say that the elasticity coefficient is greater than 1. That kind of the elasticity is called as the relative elasticity of the demand. If that change is below this 10%, that is 8%, quantity change in the demanded is 8%, with a 10% increasing in the price or 8% decreasing in the quantity, then it is called as a relatively inelasticity of the demand, because here the impact of that determinant factor is having the impact on the quantity demanded, but somehow it is some reducible levels, and the elasticity coefficient will also be less than 1. So we can apply these 5 kinds of the measures for these types of the elasticity. So here in this examples, I also have mentioned you the price, but you can mention the same with an income. If the income increases, if this minute income, that is 100 rupees, 200 rupees increasing in the income levels will lead to the more changes on the quantity demanded, then we can say that income perfectly elasticity of the demand. And even the income is increased more for that particular product, the quantity demanded is less, or sometimes there is no changes at all, same products are all purchasing, like the rice or the salt, whatever the quantity we require, we will consume that one only. Even in the income increases, we can't take much salt of that one. Then again it is called as the income inelasticity of the demand. If 10% of the income increases, 10% of the demand will be increases for the same product, then we can say that that's demand is called as the unit income elasticity of the demand. If 10% income increases, 20% demand will be increases for any product, when we can say that relatively income elasticity of the demand. If 10% income increases or 10% below quantity demanded of a product increases, then we can say that relatively income inelasticity of the demand. Same thing we can apply for the substitutable products. That means for the tea price increases, what happens to the coffee price? If we have applied, then it is called as the cross elasticity of the demand. Same as the income, advertisement elasticity of the demand. If 2 substitutable products are also is there, then we can say that it is the cross elasticity of the demand. And future expectations of the demand. So if the future expectations will be more on the product, then obviously the demand impact will be more. So based on that one, there are certain types of the elasticities are all there, and these are all the graphical representations for this various types of this price elasticity of the demand and the degree levels of that one, and how it will be changes. And what are the examples? That is some of the examples like petroleum, goods produced by the monopoly institutions, salt, tap water, diamonds, peak situations, at the festival situations, how the train tickets will be changes. These are all we can apply for this price elasticity of the demand. Same as For the income elasticity of the demand, we can apply for the high elasticity, unitary elasticity, low elasticity, zero and negative elasticities. And cross elasticities means we can apply for the substitutable products as well as for the complementary products. And advertisement elasticity more or less similarly equals to this, similar to this income elasticity of the demand. And if we see this one, measurements of this particular price elasticity of the demand from 0 to 10, if it is increases, quantity decreases, quantity increased is 10 and the price is from 6 to 4, then the impact is 2, the change in the price is 2 and the quantity Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2 means 10 divided by 2, that is average quantity 5 and the change in the price is also the 2 by 5. So 2 by 5. So the income elasticity or the elasticity of the demand is 5. We can say that greater than 1 relatively elasticity of the demand. It is called as the less than 1 relatively inelasticity of the demand. And we can call this as the unit elasticity of the demand, where elasticity of the demand is equals to 1. Then arc of price elasticity of the demand at 2 point levels. So this is the elasticity of the demand at this particular point, and at the another point of the one, this is the elasticity of the demand, and the mean between these 2 points will be called as the arc elasticity of the demand. The mean value or the mean value between these 2 points or these 2 points or these 2 points is called as the arc elasticity of the demand. And point elasticity means at particular given price, at a particular quantity demanded of a product will be called as point of price elasticity of the demand. And the significance of the elasticity of the demand will be more on the production. If there is a more demand, then based on that one only the inputs will be changes. And if the less demand is there, then automatically there is a impact on the reduction in the productional element. So if the demand increases, supply unchanges, then automatically price will be increases. And demand decreases, supply unchanges, prices will be reduces. Demand unchanged but supply increase, then the prices will be reduces. Demand is unchanged, supply changes, supply reduces, then automatically there is a more demand on the price of the product. So that's why the elasticity of the demand in the distribution will also have its more impact, because the right from the manufacturer to this consumer, if that product has to reach, then obviously it has to go through with various levels, like the distributors, wholesalers, retailers, mediators, translators, goods, and every person. From one person to another person, the demand will be varies and the value added will be increases, the price levels will be changes, and the time levels will also be changes. So based on that one only, it is unable to calculate the accurate elasticity of the demand. But by the for example, in the market we have seen a particular product has more demand, but now by the time of the manufacturing, the demand might be replaced with another product one. So that's why we can't say that the demand should be last for the it will be waits till the production done and it will be reaches to the customers, unless and until the no product is going to be replacing that particular product. That's why while estimating the demand itself, it is better to have a forecastive nature. How much time will it take to reach to the customer, and how much time will it takes to leads to this further expansions. Based on that one only, they have to estimate this particular demand. So the significance of the elasticity of the demand, they have to more focusing, because it is going to be having their impact on the foreign exchanges, and also based on the nationalization and industrial policies and the governmental policies, and also in the it is more the deals with the public finances. So that's why there is more concentration is required to have this significance of the elasticity of the demand. And the next thing is the demand forecasting. So that I have told you that one before the estimation of this demand. Before calculation of this elasticity of the demand, they should be very futuristic oriented. Then forecasting means generally if he goes to the fortune teller, he will always says that yeah, you have this many good days and the bad days he will be assumes, not the presumption, which means nobody will give the guarantee that the same as it is whatever he has told that will only happen to our future, means nobody will give the guarantee because they are all assuming, not presuming. There is no base for it. But forecasting is not like that. It is not an assumption. It is they're all based on the some documental evidences. That documental evidence based presumption of the demand estimated for a product of the near future or the later ones is called as the demand forecasting. So this demand forecasting is very important for every person to produce the sufficient or the economical product or the produce the product which is required for the people, and to sell that one to the required persons, to control the business activities, and to order for the raw material whenever it is required, so that they can have a growth in the long term and the investment programs. And this will lead to the economical planning and the policy making by the people by avoiding the surpluses and inadequate wastages, to improve the quality and the quality controls of the organization. So that is the importance of the demand forecasting. The objectives of this demand forecasting will be like same as to prepare the production policy, to prepare the pricing, to fix the prices for that one, to introduce in which market it has to be there, and to control over the sales, to have the inventory management under all. And also finally they want to get a maximum profits. That is the objectives of this demand forecasting. So even though they are forecasting with an evidential report, there are certain limitations are all there. That limitations are all like lack of historical sales data, unrealistic assumptions, unnecessary cost might be incurred, some changes might be happen in the fashions, lack of the expertiseness in estimating the future, psychological factors, maybe thinking that is maybe the correct one. All this might be the limitations of demand forecasting. Anyhow, the process of the demand forecasting will be starts with setting of the goals and determining the time perspective, how much time will it take to estimate that, and selecting a suitable demand forecasting method, and based on that one they have to collect the data and they have to estimate the results. And this demand forecasting, they have to take into the consideration how the price is going to be having its impact, and what type of goods it is, what type of competition is there in the market, what kind of technology they are all using, and what are the economic perspectives they are all following. These elements they have to keep it in their mind before going to estimating the demand for a product. And also they should be very focusing on this types of demand forecasting. If they are doing that demand forecasting based on the past data, then we can say that it is a passive demand forecasting. If they are doing the demand forecasting for the future elements and the present economic conditions, then it is called as active demand forecasting. If the demand forecasting is only for within 1 year or short-term period, then it is called as short-term projections. If the demand is focusing more on the number of more years, then it is called as a long-term projections. If it considers the only internal factors into the consideration, then it is called as internal business forecasting. If the entire industry is focusing towards this demand forecasting, then it is called as the external macro forecasting elements. So in these types of the demand forecasting methods will be more forecasted in two ways. Either the demand forecasting will be of quantitative or qualitative. If that information or the forecasting is based on the opinion of the people or their futuristic perceptions based on the intellectual informations, if that demand forecasting is going to be estimating, then it is called as the qualitative techniques. And if it is based on the sales numbers of number of products which are sold, number of quantities demanded, number of people using that numbers, if they are taking into the considerations, then it is called as the quantity techniques. Qualitative information generally gets from the survey methods or from the opinion methods, whereas the quantitative methods can be takes from the previous year data, that is number of sales, the percentage of the sales, or the number of products which they have taken, or number of products that they wasted. Based on that one, or returned sales returns and all, if they are doing that one, then it is called as the qualitative data. Again, if that qualitative data is based on the number of years, based on the seasonal trends, cyclical variations, and the random variations, we can say it as a time series analysis. And if it is based on the simple exponentials, or the by giving some samples, the usages, number of the people who are using of that one, then it is called as a smoothing techniques. Or by based on the past demand of the product, if they tries in the future, then it is called as a barometric one. Based on the statistical, like regression, coefficient of correlation, if these techniques, if they apply, then it is called as the statistical methods. So like this, the demand can be forecasted. So in and all, at a glance, the module 1 is explained. In this one, the 4 elements we need to be making very clear. First thing is, what is the managerial economics? It covers meaning of the economy, types of the economy, meaning of the management, and types of the management, or the managerial procedures, and combination of this one, managerial economics. And here, what is the definition of the managerial economics? It's a relationship with the other subjects, as well as this nature, scope, limitations of this managerial economics. Later, demand, because managerial economics process will be starts with demand. Then what is the meaning of the demand, types of the demand function, determinants of the demand, governing factors of the demand, what are all, both are same. Then demand function. So demand function later, law of the demand. So what the law of the demand states, and how to calculate this, what is the each and every factor's relationship with the demand, and elasticity of the demand. What is the measurements, types, methods, what are the exceptions to the law of the demand, and what are the limitations or governing factors of the law of the demand, and limitations of this elasticity of the demand. And the later we can understand about the demand forecasting. So what is the meaning of the demand forecasting, governing factors of the demand forecasting, as well as this demand forecasting methods, both the quantitative methods as well as the qualitative methods. So that is about the module 1, that is introductions to this law of the demand. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.